Welcome to the next episode. I am welcome here today, my good friend Chris Barakat. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, my man.
Man, I just want to start the way I start with most people. This show was created to tell the stories of the people I've met through or in coffee. And you're somebody I've met through the cafe, actually, but it may never have happened because you weren't drinking coffee at the time. So how did you step foot into one of the Elevation shops?
Yeah, so I have never been into coffee my entire adult life until, I guess, 5 years ago at this point. But my brother was visiting from New York, as you know, and he's a huge coffee consumer. And
a huge personality.
Yeah, big personality. Kind of walks into any room and definitely
I will never forget meeting him that day.
Yeah, true New Yorker. But when he came to visit, he just looked up on Yelp, like, where can I go get a good cup of coffee in the morning? And fortunately, it was literally a 6-minute car ride from our house. So, yeah, he went into Elevation, introduced me to the spot, and I started coming frequently, right? But I was always getting tea. I remember you asking, though, at the end of it, you're like, hey, I kind of like the vibe in here. Do you guys cool if I come in and do work and drink tea? Yeah.
And, you know, and Esteban, I think, was there that day, and I was there, and he was just like, absolutely, that's what it's for. And then, you know, keep going, sorry.
For sure. So I was familiar with Tea Bella, too. Like, I love them I was introduced to Tea Bella from Oxford, and I know that's what you guys serve from the tea side of things. So I would come in, and then eventually I started sitting at the bar more frequently, and then you and Esteban would have me, you know, sample a coffee here and there. Then I started gaining more appreciation for the different flavors, the notes, even just the aroma by itself. And now I'm there basically Monday through Friday, and
literally sometimes on the weekends too.
They got me absolutely hooked. So yeah, that was the introduction to my coffee.
Got you
for sure. And now when I travel, I can't just go get the average cup of coffee. I'm like searching for the best coffee spots in the region, and I'm always looking for coffee roasters rather than just cafes, because I feel like that gives me a better chance of getting a really good cup of coffee.
It's so funny. I tell random people about meeting you all the time, just because it was such a fun story. Because most people, when I talk to them, I'm like, oh, what was that first cup? They always remember like some Ethiopia yogurt, if it was blueberries, or it was something like, you know, they always have the same story.
Yeah.
When yours was different. I just remember your brother coming out. I'm pretty sure he ordered an oat milk cortado.
Yeah.
And he just had that personality of like, yo, this place, I looked it up, it says it's good. Prove to me it's good. You know what I mean? It was like, he didn't say those words, but the energy said that in a positive way. Yeah. And you were just kind of like hands in pockets, you know, just kind of like the green tea.
You know? Exactly.
And to Esteban right away, that's like challenge accepted.
For sure.
You just ordered a tea with this guy next to you that's like ordering cortados, you know? And then I'll just never forget, every time you were in, we were just chatting, you know, learning about what you do, which we'll get into in a minute.
Yep.
And then, but Esteban always, hey, I made a pour over. Try a little bit of it. I know you're drinking tea. This might remind you of that tea a little bit, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And those are always the moments where I feel like people don't get that in cafes. And that's what the cafe was originally built on. It was built on a place for community, for people to come in and
for sure
to talk to be creative and stuff. So, which brings me to the next question. Like, your creative outlet, you are a natural professional bodybuilder, right?
Yes, sir.
And on top of that, you're a researcher at UT. You are a coach. Beyond Bodybuilding is what you own. Wearing it, rep it, show it.
Yes, sir.
Look at that.
Absolutely.
So tell me more about that, like the creative outlet that goes into, like, let's start with your prep seasons, and then like, what got you into bodybuilding?
Yeah, for sure. So I started in 2011 as a 19-year-old in regards to being involved in the competitive space, and that kind of kicked off by meeting one of my lifelong friends now, my first year of college and undergrad. Met this awesome dude. He told me he was doing a natural bodybuilding show, and I didn't know the difference between natural and enhanced. And when I thought of competitive bodybuilding, I just thought of people who were on the Flex magazines and Muscular Development that weighed, 240 to 280 and were absolutely juiced out of their mind. And like, I thought it was cool, but it wasn't something I was interested in at all. And I was weight training.
You didn't want to look like Arnold?
I did not. No. Like, Arnold and Frank Zane's era was super cool. I saw Pumping Iron back in the day, and like all of that was super cool. But the sport changed a lot. And yeah, from a competitive standpoint, I didn't even know that there were organizations that handled the drug testing. It's lifetime natural or 10 years natural, whatever the organization rules are. But I went to see him compete in 2010. And I remember looking at my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. I was like, oh, I would
Shout out Lisa.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I would never do this. And then 1 year later, I was doing
You
that
said
same
that to her?
exact
I
show.
would never do this?
Yeah. I was like, I would never put on these posing trunks and do this. But I was also like kind of bored from I didn't have a physical outlet anymore because when I was way younger, I took martial arts really seriously. And then after that phase, I took basketball really seriously. And I wasn't good enough to play at the D1 level. So I was training 5 days a week, but I didn't have something to train for. I was just going to the gym because I loved it. So once I had something that I could sort of like dangle that carrot like ahead of me and set an actual goal, that's what I did. I eventually did that show at 19, and I thought like it would be a one and done thing, like a bucket list thing. But then it opens up the door of just the pursuit for more.
So that dangling carrot, you didn't catch it.
No, like
does it stay in front of you always?
Yeah, like you can keep pushing it further down the road because if deep down you know there's more potential to tap into, that's what is exciting. And I also love that it was an individual sport.
Yeah.
Because something like basketball, I used to get really frustrated if I spent 6 to 8 hours a day practicing in the summer and then some of my teammates didn't care, whatever it may be. I really, really like the individual component of bodybuilding, and the more you put in, the more you got out. So, it really opened the door for me to continue down this road of developing greater self-discipline and seeing what the practice can sort of yield over time. And as I learned more about the history of the sport and people who were much older than me in the sport, it was this thing that I noticed, I can do this not just for 1 year or 5 years, but I could potentially do this for 10 plus years. And it snowballed over time. So that's kind of how it got started.
Yeah, because we are 10 plus years already in right now, right? Because 2011 was 15 years ago.
Exactly.
That's crazy. So in doing that, like, did you grow up? Did you have a big physique to start? Did you?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, so in high school, I was just skinny and scrawny for the most part. I was strong from like a muscular endurance standpoint. I remember every year we would do like the push-up test in gym class, the 1 mile runs and all that. And I've done 100 push-ups in high school, and I think that was like the school record. It was like me and a couple of high school wrestlers that were always at the top. But I was never big. Yeah, and they're doing that all day long, right? But no, I was never big, super skinny and scrawny. And I was always inspired by my oldest brother too, because he always had a great physique. He was into weight training before me, and then he eventually became a professional MMA fighter, the one that you met that got me into coffee, right? So I was always like inspired by strength and fitness. And yeah, it was just like a perfect little pursuit for me, and it continued to grow, and it kind of changed my academic trajectory as well. I was going to undergrad originally for athletic training, and that's what I got my bachelor's in, with the intent of pursuing a physical therapy degree and doing that.
Is that the normal route you think that people take?
A lot of people do that. They kind of use athletic training as a stepping stone for PT, or maybe even like orthopedics or something like that. But I worked in the physical therapy clinic since I was 18, and I kind of got burnt out from that world. And as I got more interested in bodybuilding, I noticed that here in Florida, that's what brought me down here at the University of Tampa. They had a master's program in exercise and nutrition science, but they were like specifically doing bodybuilding research.
That's cool.
So I saw that as an undergrad, and that really, really drew me in. So I came down here, switched gears, didn't go for physical therapy, and then got my master's in exercise and nutrition science. So that's kind of how I came here. And then, yeah, just the sport of natural bodybuilding really pivoted everything for me. I mean, from the closest relationships in my life, people who were my groomsmen in my wedding, like it all kind of stems from that. And it really is crazy to reflect, like, wow, 15 years ago I didn't do that show. Like, what would have happened?
It's crazy to think something that looks like it's the cover of a magazine from Meatheads, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually this science-backed community of creative people that are, getting coaches and writing down plans and nutrition plans. People sometimes forget. They just see the big guy like, he probably just eats all the time. No, it's actually dialed in, to those things. So you're tracking here. You've done... How many shows did it take before you got your pro card, though?
Yeah, I think it took me 8 shows. I know it took me 10 years. Yeah, I competed in 4 seasons, so 2011, 2013, 2017, and then I turned pro in 2021.
Oh, so 4 seasons in 10 years. So seasons take a long time.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Like I've learned that a little bit more just from being with you. Went to your last show, cheer you on and stuff, and it's crazy the amount of prep that goes into an actual season. Not just that, to do it 4 times over 10 years, to hope to get that, like that again, the dangling carrot, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, it's resilient. You know, at the end of the day, which is a word I think most people don't have.
Yeah.
We have persistence. Persistence is something you just kind of going through mud, right? But resilience is like taking beating after beating and changing your body over and over again and stuff too. Like, tell us more about that process. What is that like? What does the season look like for you?
Yeah. So on the natural side of the sport, it's really not smart for competitors to compete like year after year for a few reasons. A, it takes a lot of time to put on a significant amount of muscle where you're going to look visually better. And B, which is probably even more important, is it also takes a lot of time to recover from the harsh reality of the contest prep diet.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, bodybuilding can be, especially natural bodybuilding, it can be a very healthy outlet, but the competitive side of the sport is acutely unhealthy. So like once somebody gets below 8% body fat and they start getting extremely lean, there's a lot of negative hormonal adaptations that occur. And you are living in a physical and hormonal environment that isn't healthy and it's not sustainable. That's why it's short term. You peak for competition, then you kind of get out. So you're
not walking around below 8% all the time.
Not at all, right? And that's a good thing because you're walking around in a healthy environment most of the time, but it absolutely isn't what people see on what used to be the magazines and now what's on social media. So it just takes a long time to actually put on muscle and it takes a long time to recover. And I was also like the same way people periodize their training to reach a certain goal or to optimize a certain outcome. I was periodizing my life. So like I knew that while I was, finishing my undergrad, I wasn't going to compete. Or while I was diving deeper and deeper into research during my master's, I wasn't going to compete. So I liked competing, every 4 years or so and having those longer breaks for those sort of reasons mentioned.
That makes sense. And that's cool. So it's like in between these things, you're kind of always in prep, right? You're never going too far in one direction of letting things slide and everything too, but you're working on research in the middle and everything. So let's go. We got the pro card now. Yeah. You finally reached the dangling carrot. Yeah. What's the next step then? You finally got it. What do you do next?
Yeah, it was interesting. So
you realized the carrot was too small?
It's been an interesting experience. Like going back to the resilience thing, even though it took 10 total years, another thing I found really cool about my personal journey was I had a lot of success winning my weight class, my age class, or my height class, depending on what shows I was doing. A lot of times I would win my class, but I would not win the overall.
Gotcha.
So I think this is kind of cool where I actually won my class 7 times.
Oh, wow.
But lost the overall all 7 times at that same show.
Wow.
So it's like you have this moment of, you get that quick little dopamine high of like, won my class, perfect. Then you go into the overall, and then there's that moment of disappointment where it's like, I just fell short of the pro card. So
what's different from
that happened
overall
multiple
class,
times.
Then? Are you going up against guys twice your size or something?
Yeah, so it depends on the show that you're at and a lot of different variables, but most of the time I would compete as a lightweight. And then in the overall, you would have like your bantamweight, your lightweight, your middleweight, your light heavyweight, your heavyweight.
Oh, wow.
So you have the winner of each category, and then only the winner of the overall would get the pro card.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
I was like super close multiple times, but never had it. 2021 finally earned that, and that was an interesting season for a lot of reasons. My wife and I were going through multiple losses. We had a really hard time, sustaining a pregnancy. So I kind of utilized prep as a opportunity for me to kind of put on the blinders and just look deeper within myself. So for me, it served a great purpose, but looking back, it probably wasn't like the healthiest thing for the entire family environment. So I have some regrets there. But after acquiring the pro card in 2021, I did one pro show the very next day, and unfortunately, there was only 3 of us in the bodybuilding class. So even though I won that class, I never gave myself credit for like doing well at the pro level, and I knew I wasn't really testing myself amongst a lot of competitors. So that is why I decided to compete again in 2025 last year, because I was really curious to see like where I would stand in the pro circuit, because a lot of people have the ability to turn pro, but the truth of the matter is like genetics are going to probably be the largest factor that determine how successful you are going to be at the pro level.
What are some of the genetic abnormalities? I don't know what you would call them, or
outliers.
Outliers, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of it has to do with actual bone structure.
Okay.
So like, what does your skeleton look like without any muscle on it?
Oh wow.
So like your shoulder to waist ratio is really important. So if you have really wide, if you have really wide clavicles and a small waist, you're already in an advantageous space to potentially do well. Another thing that can make a really big difference is how big your rib cage is. So if you ever see people with like extremely large barrel chests, it's actually the size of their rib cage and their sternum angle and a lot of variables that impact your actual skeleton.
I always wondered that, because I always said like the barrel chest. Like I was always like a scrawnier guy myself too, and I do fitness workout and stuff too, but chest is always the hardest thing for me to grow, and I never thought it was a genetic thing. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
It's all genetic. It's all genetic. So that's a huge component, and then the other component is just like literally where the muscles insert and what your muscle belly shape looks like.
Okay.
So some people have like these rounder, more bubbly muscles once they are growing in size, and therefore when they're posed and they're flexed, they look more impressive. They kind of have more pop, and it makes the silhouette of the physique look prettier and more aesthetic to an eye. So there's so many genetic components.
Calves, are those genetic?
Everything, literally everything, right? The shape of every muscle is genetic.
I feel a little better now about my small chest and small calves. So
like everybody can build muscle over time, but the shape is a lot of it's given. A lot of it's given. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, so we reached this point. You got your pro card. You did that little 3-person when you're like, I'm not satisfied. I gotta compete. But it's a 4-year window to do these things. Not to share your story, but I got to be to see you and your wife and stuff, live your lives, coming in elevation every single day and stuff, and being friends. We go out to dinner and stuff in your house, trick or treat with you guys, and I remember the hardships you guys are going through, man. It was tough times. I don't want to, again, dig or tell your story, but like that prep season was wild. Like not from it's hard, I work out, my macros, those things. It was hard from a personal standpoint. Yeah. You want to share some of that? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, there's so many different places I could go with it. But like essentially before I started that 2021 prep, my wife and I conceived for the first time. And we conceived in December of 2020. We moved into our current place in January of 21. And like the day that we conceived, I had a feeling that like we just made a baby kind of thing. And it was one of those weird moments where like I was messing around with her. I was like, you want to call your mom and dad and like let them know we're pregnant?
Oh my gosh.
Like that's how strongly I felt about it. And like we didn't do that, but 2 or 3 weeks later we were celebrating because we had a positive pregnancy test. But the thing I remember was we were celebrating on a Friday and then we were grieving on a Monday. So it was just like the highest of high, and then 72 hours go by and like the lowest of lows. So that was really tough. And then just a couple months later, we were like, the OB that my wife was seeing at the time, like almost encouraged us to just try immediately. And like in hindsight, we really regret doing that. I also wasn't like psychologically ready to do so, but circumstances kind of led for that to happen. And unfortunately, we had our second loss right away. And that led us down the road of like, all right, we're obviously putting this on pause. We need to explore why are we able to conceive, but we're not able to carry a healthy pregnancy out. So it was like a huge emotional whirlwind on so many levels. it led my wife down a path of functional medicine, and she met an amazing doctor that's here in the area, Dr. Saxana, who did amazing work with her. She was officially diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, so she found out she had an autoimmune disease, started treating that like holistically and through medicine, and eventually got into remission. Unfortunately, we still had a third miscarriage, like I believe a little over a year later.
Yeah.
So we waited a long, long time, but thank God, after 3 losses, our 4th pregnancy was obviously successful, and then the birth of my first son.
Though.
It was
just
a lot.
Like mentally, physically for Lisa.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. I just remember too, like resilience. Talk about like, I mean, we're talking about prep season and everything. What she went through is resilient. Like to keep doing that and saying, hey, we're gonna do this. You know, like we're gonna figure it out. And not just that, like you went to this research side of it too, like hey, let's just find out, let's like not take some random doctor's word for it, let's dig deeper into this. And that's where your research background kind of comes into play, right? You're just kind of like, well, to pivot a little bit, like what do you research at UT right now? Like are you digging into holistic stuff? What is it?
No, right now it's still primarily exercise science based. The lab over there is called the Human Performance Lab. Is it
the same lab that I've been in with the DEXA scan and stuff? Okay, cool.
Yes. So I used to be in there all the time. Now, fortunately, I'm in a place where I put in a lot of hours running the randomized control studies, collecting the data. I put in like my sweat hours, my sweat equity into the lab. So now I'm sort of in the spot where I collaborate with other researchers, whether it's at UT or even at different universities across the U.S. or even across the world. And we try to answer certain questions within the exercise science space, or
that's huge.
More specifically the bodybuilding space. So
wow. So that's cool. So that's actually the whole background of it. This holistic side wasn't even like part of the research part.
Not with me directly, but it made us take more of like a critical lens approach to like, all right, well, what is the root cause here and what's going on? Like, how can we actually sort of nip this in the bud so we will have more success moving forward.
The cause, not the symptom the whole time. Yeah.
Yes. So my wife did a lot of hard work, made a lot of lifestyle changes that clearly paid off, and she had a lot of great support in her corner, right? From Dr. Saxana to Lori, which you're familiar with, Lori Roman.
Shout her out, man. She's the best.
And even one of the nurse practitioners that was her OB, Maddie Dupoint, absolutely amazing. So we like surrounded ourselves with a really good team, and fortunately, now we have 2 boys. So
look at that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got 2 boys. Don't forget River too. You got 3 boys in the house. River's the dog. He's basically Elevation's mascot.
Yes.
Everybody knows River.
For sure.
They know River, and they forget your name sometimes.
For sure.
What's your name again? I've seen that happen before. And it's
100%. Like I'm so grateful for River, man. I feel like he prepared me to be a dad, as silly as it sounds. Like he put my training wheels on, where it's like you wake up first thing in the morning, you have another living being to take care of.
Yeah.
So it really was great training wheels. It's nothing compared to a kid. I now get a little annoyed when people who are dog lovers or animal lovers, they're like, oh, well, I love my pet like a kid, but they don't have kids. I'm like, I promise you it's a little different.
Like,
for
I was
sure.
you at one point. I was
naive. Exactly. But no, River's the best, man. Surprised he's not with me, actually.
I was kind of hoping I was going to have him pop up here, get in the frame and everything, too. I literally was like, I kind of hope he brings River.
He basically comes everywhere with me.
And he's just so chill. He would, like, at first get a little excited, jump on me and stuff, and then he would just be
laying.
He would just chill right here and just lay down and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, he's the best, man. So, so 2 boys, you got the family and stuff, too. And this is all happening in prep.
Yeah.
So, firstborn, Caleb's born, love Caleb to death, man. Beautiful baby.
Thank you.
Beautiful boy now. How old is he now?
He's going to be 3 in June, which is crazy.
Yeah. And so from there, you're prepping. What is this bulk phase you're in? Is this adding muscle? Are you in a cut phase at this point?
Yeah.
Like what part of the season are you in?
Right now, I'm like in this recovery phase.
At that time?
Oh, at that time?
Yeah.
When Caleb was born?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Caleb was born, I was like in an off season or like in an improvement phase.
Okay.
But truth be told, like because that was such a large lifestyle change, it wasn't a progressive off season or like a good improvement season.
Oh wow.
It was more of just like this maintenance phase.
Gotcha.
And I knew that going into 2025. Like I genuinely knew that I made minor improvements, but it wasn't nearly as much as a pro athlete would like to make, right? But I still wanted to sort of just test myself in that pro circuit.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are very, very seasonal. Generally speaking, when you're not like dieting down for a show, whether it's like 16, 20, 24 weeks, you are usually just in an improvement phase where you're trying to progress your lifts in the gym. You're eating in a really, really small surplus later on in the game. Like you're not trying to pack on an insane amount of weight, but you want to make sure you have a little bit more fuel than necessary so you can accumulate some new tissue over time.
Because you don't want to just stuff everything down and have the wrong kind of extra weight either.
Exactly.
You want to actually build the muscle to shed the fat later.
For sure.
And so, like, for somebody your size, like at that time, what's your in-compete weight that you get to?
So I get down to 160 when I compete.
Okay, that's roughly what I weigh now, but obviously different body comps. You know, you're 160 at what, 4.5% body fat when you're on
stepping around
on stage?
there. Yeah.
That's insane. Like what? So leading up to that point, you're in the surplus. Like, what do your macros look like in a surplus at that point, in a minor surplus?
Sure. So in a minor surplus, I'm eating around 3,000 calories.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm probably eating around 225 to 250 grams of protein. Carbs are between 300 and 400, and then fat ranges between 70 and 110.
Okay, so you're supposed to keep the fats a little lower on the percentage for those calories and everything.
Yeah.
Gotcha, man.
Yeah.
So what did a typical meal look like on that? Because at this point, because I know your background. I keep trying not to share stuff about you a little bit more.
Yeah.
You care not just about the macronutrient, but the micronutrient too. And that's a complaint I've heard from even my own fitness coach. He'll say that too. He goes, like, man, I put people on these plans and all they're doing is eating chicken and rice. You got to have vegetables. You got to eat the rainbow. You got to have these things. You were one of those people I would see you bring your meals in sometimes and they would have different color than other bodybuilders that come in our shops. And I always thought that was really cool, and I would ask you about that. But yeah, so what would a meal look like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super flexible, which is a blessing, but it's also just something that comes with experience, I think. If you start doing things, I don't want to say the right way, but in a quantitative way, you understand that, all right, if I'm getting 60 grams of carbs from rice or 60 grams of carbs from sweet potato or 60 grams of carbs from quinoa and bulgur, it's not really going to matter too much. Yeah, like as long as I'm keeping it equated, I can get away with eating a lot of different foods. So like a lot of times I even eat just a lot of traditional Middle Eastern food that my mom might make. And I love that I'm still able to keep that stuff in because I am essentially like treating that younger inner child of me while still staying on track for my goals.
Have mom's lamb.
Yeah, for sure. So my meals look different all the time, but I mean, I would say 90% of my diet is whole food, and then 10% might be some processed stuff.
Like what kind of processed things? I'm talking about like these.
Honestly, like I'd obviously consider like a whey protein thing processed. So I do make a lot of meal replacement shakes. So it might be some whey protein with oats, with frozen berries, with some sort of nut or nut butter. So
it's nutrient dense.
Very, very nutrient dense. Yeah. Regardless of what phase I'm in, I'm always eating a minimum of 2 servings of fruit per day and usually 2 to 3 servings of vegetables per day. As I'm dieting down, my vegetable content gets higher and higher. And essentially that's enabling me to eat more food from a volume perspective, but keep the calories really low.
So it keeps you satiated longer too? For sure. So my diet's very, very flexible, as you've seen. It kind of includes a little bit of everything. Which is great, man. I love that. It was even, I mean, there were points where, I was in my fitness journey. I was never like that. I just wanted to be functional as I got into my 40s. I wanted to stay fit. I wanted to be healthy. I mean, I was trying to, my coach would teach a lot on longevity, right? Like here, we're not going to overload you too much because you are a businessman. You own businesses. We can't have you crashing hard. We can't have you this. So we're going to actually up your protein. We're going to up it. I'm like, but I'm trying to shed some of the fat. He goes, just trust me on this. We're going to up these things for you because what you fuel your body with matters. And it was the dumbest like analogy, but it made so much sense to my like lizard brain. He was just like, would you put unleaded fuel into a diesel truck? And I'm like, no. He goes, why are you putting junk in your body? He goes, everything, is fuel. Like you can eat a grain, like you said, like a pound of sugar or something. It's going to fuel your body differently than the same amount of macros in a carbohydrate. like sweet potatoes. You're going to have more nutrients, have fiber. You're going to actually absorb the good parts of it. And man, it was when I got to that point of chasing a feeling, not this goal that I thought was on a magazine cover or something. It became fun at that point, you know?
Absolutely.
And, but yeah, I would reach out to you all the time. I'm like, hey man, I'm really struggling right here on the spot. How do I dial this back in, or how do I do this? And you would bring me in, you brought me in for that DEXA that one time. And I remember I was like, I was very encouraged and discouraged at the same time. So it was like, I was so asymmetrical, I think, that was just like, why do I carry so much? Like, I have skinny legs, but I have fat in my legs. Like, how is this even possible? You know, like, I don't remember. Yeah. And then I remember you like, you kind of walked me off a ledge a little bit.
For sure.
But I can't imagine what it's like coaching a real person.
No, man, you don't give yourself enough credit. And a lot of it is kind of psychological in the sense of like, how much are we beating ourselves up over something?
A lot.
Yeah. I think having objective data can be really beneficial for some people when it's coupled with knowing, all right, well, how can I manipulate this? How much value should I give these actual numbers? What does this actually mean? Like a lot of people give way too much, I don't want to say credit, but they put too much stock in what their scale weight is.
Yeah.
And again, your scale weight is just your total body mass. It has nothing to do with how healthy you are. It's not telling you your body composition. And for a lot of people, what they think their ideal physique is at a certain number. That number is way off because they don't understand
that is so true,
how
man.
Body composition works. You know, so like a lot of times females think they want to weigh a lot less than they may actually want. Like their ideal physique is probably at a body weight that's higher than they think.
Yeah, correct.
Because for them to have shapely curves or whatever it may be, they usually need to actually build muscle and create shape to their skeletal frame by adding muscle tissue. It's not just about losing weight and losing fat. So females kind of move on that side of the direction, and then men are kind of on the other side of the direction. They're like, oh, I want to weigh 200 pounds and be like really jacked. But the truth of the matter is like they might look amazing at like 170 or 175 or whatever it is. So it's just the opposite end of the spectrums, and a lot of people give way too much credit to a number on the scale without understanding, like, well, what does this mean, or how can I manipulate it?
That was one of the most, like, the best information. You were like, just stop weighing yourself, man.
Yeah.
Like, because that was the same thing. I kept trying, I want to gain, you know? And I was like, it's not going up. And you're like, but the proof's in the pudding. You know what I mean? Like, you got to stop looking at that other thing. And yeah, having those deep, detailed numbers where it was just kind of like, oh, wow, like, my arms only have, like, 4% body. That's amazing. Okay, cool. Like, you know, and then it's like, but having that data also helps, you know, okay, maybe I need to be hitting legs a little harder. Maybe I was babying legs, you know what I mean? And I'm glad. I don't like leg day. I'm literally still sore right now from Monday's leg day. And I'm doing like a Pilates thing in here tomorrow. I'm like deathly afraid. So I'm like, I'm just going to die on the mat, which is okay. But then a friend of mine was like, I'll help you out with the soreness. I'm like, I don't think it will.
Yeah, we'll see, right?
we'll see. I've never done Pilates, so I don't know what I'm doing here. We'll see. It'll be a lot of fun. So at this point, you're in that phase. So what's next then on that off-season platform? You're in that maintenance phase at this point. Caleb's been born.
Yeah. So that phase, I was just in a maintenance phase. Still going to the gym 4 to 5 days a week for sure, but not all of my ducks were in a row, and I wasn't crossing every T and dotting every I. But yeah, I mean, I'm always training. I'm always exercising. It's just like I'm always doing 80% of what I need to be doing. It's the other 20% that really dictate, okay, am I making a lot of progress right now? Or am I contest prepping and getting everything really, really dialed in? That's the biggest difference. Again, when it comes to just like life periodization, one of the biggest restrictions for me to actually push the envelope and try to make a lot of progress at that time back then, which I'm in a similar place right now, is just what am I able to actually recover from? How much sleep am I getting?
Yeah.
Becoming a new father with Caleb for the first time, that threw a wrench in things for honestly a good 8 months or so, right? And then they have sleep regressions and whatever. Like now he sleeps, thank God, a good 9 hours straight, maybe 10 hours straight sometimes. But at that point, you're waking up multiple times throughout the night. I'm not going to be making the best progress in the gym during that phase of my life. I'm going through the same thing right now. My second son's 3 months old. So like I'm not even attempting to make improvements right now. Right. I'm just trying to maintain.
Gotcha.
Because I understand what the rest of my life looks like. I'm spending more time on business things. I'm spending a lot of times with my kids. And I just know I'm not in the actual spot to push the envelope right now.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, I would have to be like overly selfish. The competitive side of the sport can be very selfish. But that's why I like to pick my periods where I'm going to go really hard for these next 6 months. I might have to dial back my work-related task for a little while, and I'm just cool with it. Like maybe I earn a little bit less money for the next few months. I take on a couple less clients, whatever it may be, and I just accept that because my priorities shifted for a 6-month period.
Yeah. I
push the envelope then I can maintain that for a little while, and then when it's time to go again, I kind of need to just kind of move my priorities around. So
gotcha, man. Yeah. So during that phase, where is that that switch that flips then? Like where is that point where you're just like, okay, I'm out of this maintenance mode, now's the time to, I wouldn't want to call it selfish. It's not selfish.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also your career path. It is what helps feed your family. It is the thing. You being on a stage, showing the proof in the pudding too, is what gets you more clients as well. So it's not really, I mean, I guess we could frame it as selfish, and we always have to be selfish in some way, right?
Yeah.
But this is your career path. So at that point, you got Caleb, you got work going on, you're at maintenance and everything too. When is it? Is it a planned thing, or is it one of those like, hey, honey, I think it's time to go into overdrive?
Yeah, no, it is very planned. It's like just that intentional decision. For me, a lot of times it's knowing when my next competition is going to be.
Do you plan that out that far in advance?
In the past, I used to all the time. Yeah, I used to all the time. Now I'm way more flexible, and I know that, okay, I want to go again in the future, but I don't know exactly when that's going to be. It helps to have timelines because then it sort of forces you to structure things a certain way.
Makes sense.
Right? Otherwise, you sort of kick the can further down the road, and you're okay with like just cruising and maintaining.
You'll find an excuse not to do the thing
for sure.
You don't actually set it up.
For sure. So yeah, a lot of it comes down to just making an intentional decision, and that's what I had to do. Like in 2024, in the fall of 2024 is when I really got my stuff together, knowing that I would compete literally 12 months later.
Okay, so it's like a 12-month, like, dialed in.
Yes. It was 6 months of improving and then 6 months of dieting down, basically.
Wow,
and cutting.
Dang.
Yeah.
So in that improvement phase, are you still in a surplus at that point?
Yeah, I'm in a surplus. Everything's really, really controlled. But, again, I'm also just auto-regulating my nutritional decisions and my training based on feedback.
Okay.
So how are things feeling in the gym? How am I progressing in the gym? How is body composition changing over time? I've been doing this long enough that I can auto-regulate a lot of variables and be very, very flexible. Whereas when I work with more intermediate level clients, it's a bit more, we're going to do this for 16 weeks. We're going to do this for 6 weeks. We're going to do this for 12 weeks. Wow. It's a little bit more periodized and structured that way. But when it comes to sort of coaching myself and being my own guinea pig,
oh man,
a lot of these knobs I'm tweaking with pretty frequently, but also just based off of that biofeedback.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you have this plan. You're like you said, weeks to weeks to weeks. You know exactly what you're doing. Things don't always go as planned though, right?
Yeah.
Broken feet happen?
Yes, yes.
How was that? Like, I remember you walking in with a boot one day or something.
Yeah, man. It's funny, like, you almost forget about some of these things, too. Before the broken foot is when I found out I had that mold toxicity issue, too. That's
right, that, too. There were so many wrenches in the story for this last season. That was crazy.
There was. Yeah, so this last year, I found out that I had pretty severe mold toxicity. Lori Roman, shout out to her again.
Oh, huge.
She had this inkling based off of my blood work and based off just some of my symptoms that I probably had some sort of mold issue. And my previous car was totaled due to water damage. So long story short, my last car had water damage from a previous hurricane, and I was driving around this thing for a good 8 to 10 months without knowing that there was severe mold because it wasn't visible at all. It was all underneath the carpet, so nothing was visible whatsoever.
It's just baking in the Florida sun, the humidity.
Exactly.
It's growing.
Exactly. It's growing. And like, it was one of those other things too, where I was like, oh, maybe it's my gym bag in the trunk, or maybe it's River hanging out in the car, like whatever. Right? I'm like, yeah, something smells a little off, but it wasn't like bad, you know?
Right.
So I dealt with that for a long period of time. Turns out I was basically sick, and my immune system was on basically overdrive trying to fight this thing off. So I wasn't starting off in a great spot by any means. And then I treated that with Lori's help, took a completely holistic approach to that, felt so much better. Oh my God, like cognitively, my performance in the gym, my energy day to day, everything was so much better. And I was contest prepping. I committed to contest prepping before I even found out about the mold toxicity. Once I found out about it, I asked Laura, I'm like, do you think I should continue to go about this, or is it going to take too long to treat? And she's like, no, just go for it. Like,
Nice.
You only live once kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I still kept my head in the game, started prep, and then literally 3 weeks into my contest prep, I was at a gym in New York during Easter, and a 25-pound plate fell on my foot, broke my foot, ended up being in a boot, supposed to be in the boot for 4 weeks, didn't listen to the doctors, only wore it for 2 weeks. So I started off my entire prep like just not in a good position.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways, but worked around it. I have enough tools in my toolbox from a training perspective where I was still training legs with the boot, doing a lot of unilateral work, doing something called blood flow restriction training. So I worked around it, and the goal there was like just maintain as much muscle as I possibly can. I'm not thinking to build. I just wanted to like minimize the regression. But I do remember from wearing the boot, my right calf completely disappeared.
Oh my gosh.
So quickly. But
calves take years to grow.
It also came back so quickly.
Oh,
it was
hallelujah.
insane. Yeah, it was really crazy to see how much mass I lost on my calf and how quickly
Just from
it
being
came back.
restricted in this boot.
Yeah, just that immobilization is the fastest way to lose muscle tissue. Yeah,
It's true, man. That's I've heard people say that the biggest pandemic isn't technically obesity in and of itself. It's immobility and lack of muscle.
yeah,
Like muscle is the key to longevity. Muscle is the key to most curing diseases. Your body needs muscle to cure diseases and stuff that come in. Can't gain it if you're not mobile, though.
Yeah.
Can't gain it if you're not moving and stuff. So at that point, broken foot.
Yeah.
Then your son breaks his foot.
yes. Same foot, same bone.
Insane.
Insane.
Like, you're just like, keep throwing them. Just at this
Literally.
point, you're like, I'm just gonna. I don't even know what to do. Like,
Yeah, and my son had the mold toxicity issue too.
Yep.
So I had to put him on a very similar protocol, and just giving a toddler medicine
good
three
luck.
times a day.
Yeah, good luck.
That's a whole job in itself, right? So yeah, prep started off in a really, really poor position, to be honest with you, and a lot of these obstacles continue to come my way throughout the entire thing. And once you're just fully committed and locked into something, you're just going to find a way to make
That's
it
what it
happen.
is, man. Going back to the word resilience, man.
Yeah.
Like you had outs.
Yeah.
You could have been like, I got the pro card already.
Yeah.
I've proved to enough people. I
Yeah.
can coach people, keep going. But you
Yeah.
were like, no, it was internal. You were like, this is war now.
Yeah.
I'm getting on that stage.
Yeah, and it was for me, man, because I had a lot of limiting beliefs in regards to where I would land on the pro circuit. So I wanted to see where that was, so I would know, would I ever do this again? Do I ever want to do this again? Or is the competing side of things in the past for me, and I'm just going to focus on coaching and life and being a family man,
Right.
and like
hanging
sort
out
of
at
hang
the
it
coffee
up.
shop.
Yeah, and that would have been totally fine. But I'm glad I went through with the season, and it wasn't a great competitive season by any means. It was the worst I've ever done competitively.
Which is insane to me. I saw your physique
Yeah.
on the stage, in
Yeah.
person. I saw you changing every day. And again, you always wear something like this.
Yeah.
And I'm the clown that shows every day. No, look at this guy's Instagram.
Yeah,
Like, look
yeah.
at this guy. But man, I just, it was just one of those things. Like, you see people, again, like, there's a certain thing about that lean where you can see the striations in the muscles, that type of thing. And I saw you on the stage with other people that may have been bigger people in the same weight class and everything too, but they didn't have the same body comp change in physique that you had. So it was just to get up there and do that, I thought was amazing. And
I appreciate it.
and yeah, no, dude, and just to have, your family was there, all those people, but and family too. At this point, you're finally getting there. You got the boot off. You feel like things are doing good, and then, hey, honey, we're pregnant.
Yeah.
Another oh man, and then the due date was right around the time you were traveling overseas for shows, right?
Yeah, that moved the goalpost for me a lot. So my original intention was to compete at something called WMBF Worlds. It's a world championship with the organization I compete with. They're called the World Natural Bodybuilding Federation. My goal, and that's always in November. So before my wife and I conceived for a second, that was the vision of the year, close out the year in November. Once we conceived, because the due date was so close, I knew that I wasn't going to do the World Championships, but I still wanted to do another show the first week of November in California. And that was still my final finish line for the year. While I was competing internationally in the UK and Dubai, my wife ended up in the hospital. And while I was on a FaceTime call with her first thing in the morning, she saw some blood coming, and we weren't sure if she was going into preterm labor. So long story short, I'm on the other side of the world. I am 2 days out or 1 day out from competition in Dubai when all of this is going down. So I'm looking at flights to travel back home. I didn't know if I was going to... I was just trying to get home, basically. Fortunately, my wife was okay. She had some early contractions, but nothing was everything was very manageable, and baby wasn't coming early. Everything was fine. But it was super scary, man. Super stressful, so far from ideal, 1 day before your show. And then, long story short, when that was happening, I knew, I made a promise to myself and to God that I was not going to compete in November, that I wasn't going to travel to California and be an airplane ride away while we were that close out. So that was, again, I really don't, it's totally fine. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But the frustrating thing as the pro athlete was my intention was to be 100% in November. That was the
for that finish line.
That was the finish line.
You were 98, 99.
Yeah, so in September I was warming up. Those were my warm-up shows. I haven't competed in 4 years. I'm kind of dusting off the cobwebs. I wasn't expecting to be at my best. But unfortunately, that's kind of where my best physique for the season was brought, was probably in the UK. Yeah. So it was nuts. It was nuts. You got to see me compete here in St. Pete, Florida, which was super cool, and I so appreciated you coming out.
Oh, dude, I would have held a banner up if I could. If they would have let me. If there weren't people behind.
No, it was super cool, but the thing with that show was that wasn't a natural bodybuilding show. It wasn't a drug-tested show. And I wouldn't have even done it if it wasn't local and it wasn't just for my family and friends to be able to see me compete that year, especially my son, because the competitive fire to compete that year completely died after the Dubai competition once I knew I wasn't competing in November. So that was a whole interesting experience. I was basically just maintaining that stage level of conditioning for probably 4 to 5 weeks without actually wanting to.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just
you were life's hit me, man. I've done that. I've stepped on the stage. The finish line is not going to be the finish line anymore. But we still have this one show, and it's also an open show. It's not drug tested. So you're going in there natural, completely natural against dudes that you don't know what they've been using and stuff too. So at this point, you're kind of and that's what I said. There was guys in your weight classes that just the size on them alone was and I didn't really realize what the difference was until I saw that. I was like, that's what enhanced looks like. You know what I mean? Because to me, you look enhanced to me. Not in you know what I mean? I'm just holy crap, that's physique. And then you get these other guys that, again, they might not have the same the striations of the muscle and everything, but their size alone, like you had said, some of it was genetics, but some of it is. I don't even know what they use these days. You know what I mean? Injections or creams. I don't know what it is. But you still did it. You got out there, competed against them. Didn't come back with a championship belt or whatever. Those things too. But you put it out there, and one of my favorite moments of seeing that though was your son Caleb. Actually, was taking the pictures with him,
Yeah.
him flexing, but not just that. When you pros do it, you guys always pull your pants down to show like the actual shoe you wear, and then you pull his pants down, dude. Dying. I think it was your mom was trying to cover him. Hilarious.
Yeah, I love it. He used to come in the garage every Sunday when I would practice my posing and pose with me, and it's so super cool. Yeah, so that was a great experience.
And posing practice is in and of itself its own art form.
Yeah,
like, that is something I didn't learn. Except when I was talking to a few of the regulars at the time, and they were like, "Oh no, like I'm a posing coach." I'm like, "A what now?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, like you don't understand like what it takes to pose." You go, like, "Have you ever taken a picture of yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." Were you gassed 3 seconds into it? I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Just so you can try to get a certain muscle to pop, we have to do that for our whole bodies.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, that makes sense. And you're on stage for 2-3 minutes, then you go off, then you come back, and you go off. It's like, it is an endurance at that point. You know. And I'm like, I don't know, what goes into learning how to pose and pose right, you know?
Yeah, posing is interesting. It is an art form for sure. It's something I've continued to get better at over the years and continue to be more curious about over the years. One thing I love about like this new category called classic physique is that people are taking their posing more seriously. And when people do their routines now, it's sort of like a choreographed, I don't want to say dance routine, right?
Yeah.
But people are really taking that more seriously like they used to back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That side of the sport kind of moved away from the artistic side of the posing, but it's coming back now. And it does take a lot of skill. Understanding what makes a really pretty silhouette is a huge component to that. I always tell people when you're posing, you're basically thinking about joint positioning from the ground up. So you're thinking, all right, how are my feet pointed? How are my knees bent? How is my pelvis positioned?
It's not just about flexing this up here. All the other stuff goes into play.
You want to get every joint in a particular position. So you're thinking, literally ankle, knee, pelvis, hip, torso, shoulders, elbows, wrist. You think about that in every single shot. And then you're trying to create certain lines. You're trying to create certain illusions. You want to make your shoulders look as big as possible in every pose while making your waist look as small as possible. So it is very, very elusive.
So you can't even suck in too much because it's going to expand your belly. So, but you got to you're trying to hold your breath at the same time. Man, that sounds difficult.
It's one of those things I love and hate about the sport because when people don't know how much goes into posing, they almost find physiques more impressive than they really are. What I mean by that is like, Jonathan, if you saw me on competition day, backstage, not posing, not flexed, not in any sort of body position, you would say like, oh, that guy clearly like works out, he has a good physique, but like you probably wouldn't even say like he's a competitive bodybuilder, especially as a natural. You'd probably just say like, oh, this guy has an athletic build.
Right.
Like he works out and that's it. Like you would not say, oh, that person competes in bodybuilding.
He goes hard in the gym. I see he eats,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
But it's not until somebody hits a pose and hits a pose properly where it's like very impressive, but it's also very elusive.
Yeah.
So I love it, but I also kind of feel bad for people on the outside who don't necessarily know how much elusivity is there.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So you didn't get to finish it, but I remember that whole prep phase. You were like, this is probably my final season.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go there. I just wanted to prove to myself on the pro circuit.
Yeah.
It's not your final season, though, is it?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
Probably not.
So there's still a potential 40-year-old, well, you're not 40 yet, but by the time you compete, you'll be, 40?
Over 35 for sure. I'm 34 now, so if I wait another
4 years,
4 years, 37, 38, 39, something like that. I do want to compete again. I really, really do, especially after the way things went last year. But I also, again, don't want to be selfish if I don't have to be.
Understood.
If I don't need to give myself those 6 months of being super selfish, or if I can manage it in a way where I feel like I'm being the best family man I truly can be, and it's not taking away from that, cool. But I probably will need to take my foot off the gas in other areas of my life and just be cool with it.
Yep.
So I hope so. I have unfinished business for sure. And honestly, it's more about like, not from the competitive side of things, but I know I have more potential to tap into. I know I've never reached my genetic potential or my natural limit.
Just crazy when I think, 'cause I've seen you on there, and I've like seen the freaking back muscles, and, you know, like the abs, the everything, the shoulders, the chest striations. I'm just like, how's that a peak?
Yeah,
It looks like a freaking like what the Roman gods chiseled into stone. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it, man. It's really cool to reach your current best, and I'm proud. Like, yeah, in 2025, like that was probably the best I could have looked at that given time, given certain circumstances and the way life has unfolded. But I know there's more to tap into, and like that's kind of what brings me back, and that's what brings a lot of people back. It's about, again, self-discipline, self-exploration, and that's what I love. So I want to do it for all the right reasons. I kind of want to say, like, I don't care what happens competitively, but once I'm in the process,
you 100% care.
You absolutely do start to care.
I get that. I have a competitive, like, that's why there's certain things, even in the coffee realm, where it's like, I'm not a huge, like, I do latte art, we do latte art, you know, but it's like, they have competitions for those things.
Yeah.
I don't want to do them, not because I know how competitive I would get once I get into it, and it would consume parts of me, and but I already look at those people that I know, they're so freaking good. Like, in order for me to beat that guy, I have to stop roasting, I have to stop managing the stops, I have to, you know, and it's for what?
Yeah.
For a lot, and like it's a great thing to have, and the people who do it are fantastic at it. We just had a competition here at Autonomy a couple weeks ago, and the two people that got first and second place, it would take me 2 years of practice to get to those guys' levels. You know what I mean? And I'm already pretty good, you know?
That's wild.
And so I'm kind of like, that's something that I know the competitive side of me, I'm like, I'm just going to back away from
it.
I'm not going to touch that because it's also not the true passion for me.
Sure.
And when you have a true passion, though, it's one of those things you got to chase and stuff, too. So cool. Do you mind if I run through a couple rapid-fire questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What other creative outlets do you have?
Creative outlets. I love writing. I like writing, and I'm really interested in gardening. That's something I need to learn a lot more about.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Vista Gardens, like in the Carrollwood area?
No? Oh yeah. It's right off of. It's in Old Carrollwood, like the original Carrollwood. Yeah.
Like kind of off of Northdale.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to go there because they have those community gardens. They have like educational, not classes, but they have these resources that I really want to explore. So gardening is something I'm very much into.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your strongest muscle?
Oh, back by far.
What's your weakest muscle?
Pressing in general, so like chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a rotator cuff thing, or is it just a strength?
No, long arms. So long arms and shallow rib cage, right?
Oh, so you press far.
Yeah, like we have longer ranges of motion to work through. So like if someone has like a really impressive bench press, a lot of times they have short arms and they have a really barrel chest, so they're moving the bar through smaller ranges of motion. I've seen this, and I get jealous every time. So I'm like, come on, man, I want that. I already know this one a little bit, though. You know, what's your favorite coffee you've ever had? Oh, what was it called? The cherry brownie? The brownie process.
The brownie process.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it was between
brownie
that or
process.
the Cherry Madness, the Winter Cherry Madness, or the Felipe Trujillo brownie one.
Brownie process.
I'll never forget when you bought the last bag of it, and that one guy was literally like, "Whoever has it, I'll pay $100 for it."
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like,
"We're
auctioning
keep
it."
Yeah,
at this point, you're like auctioning it off.
Yeah. That was phenomenal.
One final meal. What would you have? Wow. I hate the term death row because you never have death row, you know, but that's the term. Your death row meal. What is it going to be?
For sure.
What is that? I guess this fits actually your model.
Yeah.
You're done with competition. You get that crazy meal that you're just like, I haven't been able to eat this, or whatever. What is it?
Yeah. Well, if I had one final meal ever, it would be my mom's cooking for sure.
Aww.
Some sort of Middle Eastern food. But like post show, I'm at the phase where it's like I'm not stuffing my face with donuts or pizza or burgers and fries. I remember after the St. Pete one, we usually go to what's that Cuban spot? Bodega.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get like a good Cuban sandwich and very, very happy with that.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
You don't want to throw the body in the shock.
No, yeah, and I'm not like I love food, but like I'm not gonna overeat just like sweets and things that are gonna make me feel really shitty 30 minutes after eating it. I'm not about that. Yeah.
No, I get that 100%. Well, you're back to your mom's then. What's the meal? Is there a specific one?
Oh man, it's tough. It's
Mom,
a great question.
This.
Yeah. There's a dish called maklube, which I absolutely love, that my mom makes, and Lisa makes it really, really good as well. That's an amazing dish. It's essentially rice, cauliflower, eggplant, chicken, tomato, and it's all in this one huge pot.
Oh, sounds good.
And we flip the pot over, and then we add yogurt to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like you serve your dish, and then you put yogurt in it and mix it all up. It's really, really delicious.
Lisa, next time you make it, I want
to invite you. Yeah, for sure.
You work out with one person you've never worked out with. Who is it?
Oh, man. From a bodybuilding perspective, definitely Kai Green.
Okay.
Yeah, Kai Green, really, really popular, IFBB pro, has won the Arnold Classic multiple times. He used to compete in the WMBF when he was natural. He turned pro on the enhanced side of the sport as a natural.
Oh, wow.
But just a great thinker, and was a huge influence on me as a teenager coming up, and even just in my first 4 or 5 years of bodybuilding, he was a huge influence on me. I used to see him frequently at Beth Francis Powerhouse Gym in New York, which was a treat. But I never worked out with him. I would love to work out with him. Yeah.
So if he's listening to this, got to get to work out with my boy right here, man.
Sick. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And what's the one thing that people misconstrue from bodybuilding? Like the one.
Yeah,
one thing.
That it's about the physique, right? Like my brand is beyond bodybuilding for a reason.
There you go.
It's not just about developing your physique. It's about developing your character, developing resilience, like you mentioned, over time. The same way that you progressively overload in the gym to get stronger over time, to build muscle over time, life progressively overloads for you, whether you want it or not.
Ain't
So
that the truth,
yeah, like
man.
every year is going to be harder, and I fully accept that. Like the chapter I'm in now is as crazy as 2025 sounded, and everything we spoke about today on the podcast sounded, with those life's ups and downs that we've experienced. I think, again, raising 2 kids is going to be harder than raising 1 kid for me.
Absolutely.
So
the hardest things are the most rewarding things.
Yeah. So all of that was just preparation for life, and I utilize it as just an opportunity to build my mind and keep it resilient over time. Because the same way, like, if you don't exercise your body, you will lose muscle, you will become more fragile. It's the same thing mentally. So it keeps me mentally resilient by challenging myself physically. And it also gives me 45 to 90 minutes of, I don't want to say peace and quiet, but like time to myself.
I get it.
And all of that. So yeah, it has nothing to do with the physique. It's great. There's a lot of health benefits that come from it, but it's just this never-ending pursuit to literally stay healthy and continue to deal with life's challenges and deal with the progressive overload of life.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
You could share a cup of coffee with one person, dead or alive. Who is it?
Well, me and you need to have a cup of coffee soon.
Yes, we do. It's been a minute, man. I haven't been at Elevation much, so I've been here every day.
Yeah. That's a great question. A cup of coffee with one person. I would love to have coffee with both of my grandfathers who are no longer here while I'm 34-year-old me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it would be super cool to be able to have a conversation about my current chapter of life, get their feedback,
it's amazing,
get their wisdom. So that would be super cool.
I love that. And that's why I like that question. It's never actually about the cup of coffee.
Yeah.
It's who can you have another experience with.
For sure.
It's the same thing. Like, there's the obvious interest of Jesus. I want to ask him questions, or it's like Fred Rogers is a hero of mine that's passed on since. But no, my sister, she died when she was 20. And like, holy crap! Like, to be able to show her this thing that I created. Share it with me and talk to me, So I love it, man. That's a beautiful
that's a great question
and stuff. So thank you. One final thing, man. Can you just tell the people on the other side, maybe it's somebody who wants to bodybuild one day, is looking for something. Maybe it's just somebody who's just motivated. They need to get off the couch, or it's somebody who literally is like, hey, this is a guy who went to university, did his other things, pivoted his career to do this thing that he loves. What advice, inspiration can you give to that person? Yeah,
for sure. I think for whoever's listening, I think bodybuilding can be for everybody. So whether you're a 45-year-old mom or a 60-plus-year-old individual or a 19 or 21-year-old that doesn't have the best body image or self-confidence, you can utilize it as a tool to obviously improve your physical health, literally gain strength, improve your body composition, or you can utilize it as a tool to, again, just become more resilient, become less fragile, and improve your self-confidence and your self-belief. And it's one of those things where the natural laws of the universe of cause and effect become very, very apparent. So what you put in your body impacts you, how you feel, how you think, how you look. What you do day to day physically impacts how you feel, how you look. So it's just one of those things where you're getting direct feedback.
Yep.
Is what I'm putting in my body for me acutely and chronically good? Is what I'm doing day to day for me benefiting me? Is it serving me well, or is it actually hurting me and making me
acutely
less?
and chronically.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do something for instant stuff, but you want something long term.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the acute and chronic thing is important because one bad meal isn't going to kill you.
Correct.
One good meal isn't going to make you healthy.
Right.
It's really about the compounding interest that we're accumulating based on the actions we take every day. So I think bodybuilding can be beneficial for everybody. And if you have any questions about bodybuilding, it does not have to be competitively. Just how can you improve yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it may be. Feel free to reach out to my team and me. And
I love it. Where can they reach out to you then?
Yeah, you guys can go to beyondbodybuilding.com. If you're on social media, you can just go to my personal page or the business page. Personal page is my full name, Christopher.Barakat. Business page is Beyond Bodybuilding with an underscore at the end. And I would love to hear from you.
Honestly, great information on it too. Sometimes some of the stuff's over my head, but I hit the save button on it and I go back and read it, and I'm just like, I love the nerdy stuff. The understanding the all the little details about it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I try my best sometimes, but I'm like, man, this stuff is so cool. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And one thing I do want to say is just you got to give yourself more credit, man. I'm so happy for you. Happy for you opening Autonomy, but also doing this as a little passion project, whatever you want to call it. It's really cool to see you continue to take on more and more demands and responsibility because it's what you want to do. It's what you're passionate about. And yeah, I've seen you progressively overload your life over the last 6 years, right? Going from 1 store to 3 stores, now to the roaster, now to doing this. So kudos to you for doing the damn thing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You got it.
Shoulders can handle a little bit, but they're getting heavy now.
For sure.
Appreciate you.
Keep up the good work,
so
bro.
much, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Cool.